Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. Hi everyone, good evening. I'm your host Jonathan Clarke, and I know what's up. You guys are trying to find the best Descendants of Zombies videos you can watch on YouTube this evening. Unfortunately for you, you can't find those videos because nobody is uploading them. Because nobody knows how to showcase Descendants of Zombies and put it out there the way that I do, and I have done for the last year, which became the greatest honor of my life after having become your voice of Descendants of Zombies. Because I not only had the honor of talking about Descendants of Zombies, I had the honor of meeting thousands of fans who subscribe to this YouTube channel every night, and I have each and every one of you to thank, because you're the reason behind why this YouTube channel happens, the reason why this YouTube channel exists, and why we break down and we analyze Descendants of Zombies and feel more confident about that foreseeable future. That has everything to do with Descendants of Zombies because of each and every one of you. That's the reason why I've dedicated the rest of my life to uploading videos about the franchises you've known and loved, that you've grown up around, because of your favorite characters and the moments that made you fans of Descendants of Zombies. You're very passionate about collecting the Descendants dolls, all the Descendants merch. And because you do that, I don't think that any criticism belongs in any conversation that has anything to do with Descendants of Zombies that revolves around Descendants of Zombies. And that could be your favorite stars like Kylie Cantrall, who I'm a huge fan of, Ruby Rose Turner, who I miss being a part of the franchise moving forward. It breaks my heart that Ruby's not going to be a part of the franchise moving forward, because I was a big fan of Ruby. She was my favorite character in the entire Descendants franchise, having everything to do with how kind she was. Not just Ruby's kindness, but Kylie Cantrall's kindness, because of how passionate she felt about having the opportunity to really bring this character to life. I think we all got to a point where we realized that Descendants of Zombies had become a very valuable part of our life that should have been forever and always cherished, that would never ever be forgotten. And the one thing that I wanted to do and cherish with every video that I've ever uploaded is to let you guys know that you're very important when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, because of how passionate you feel about it. Every video I've ever uploaded, I've encouraged things like dreams can happen for everybody, because they really can. Forever can exist for everybody, no matter who you are, because it really can. And I think more of a chance on hope can feel more safe to be taken, because without hope, what do we really have to fall back on? I think because of hope, friendships can exist, passions can thrive. There's so much of a chance to be taken on this lifetime, because we only have one life to live. Now, I know it's all about the time that we are allocated, because we never know how much time we have, and that be the reason why time is so precious, because we never know how much time we're allocated, nor how much time we have. But I think all of these moments mean so much to each and every one of us individually, because we become the best of friends because of Descendants of Zombies. We felt that much closer together because we see ourselves through the eyes of whatever character that we became a fan of. For me, it all started with Dove Cameron over 10 years ago. It's almost 11 years since Descendants premiered, since the anniversary was celebrated. And it all began with Dove Cameron and me uploading videos on my opinion about Dove Cameron that was not taken for granted by fans, that was accepted. And I know how everybody feels about Dove Cameron. They all feel differently. But what you got to take into consideration, while people will choose to criticize Descendants of Zombies, that's what allows the world to exist. Because the world can't exist without diversity and everybody feeling different. If everybody felt the same about Descendants of Zombies, the world would be a pretty boring place. But having said that, what I wanted to try to do in every video that I've ever uploaded is shy away from the criticism as much as what I could to talk about Descendants of Zombies in the way that it was forever and always meant to be talked about. Because if we can't do that as fans of Descendants of Zombies and feel very passionate about whatever we're passionate about, then it defeats the purpose of ever uploading a video about Descendants of Zombies to begin with. And that's something that I've always wanted to do, is encourage you guys to follow your passions. And I've always wanted you to believe in whatever you believe in and whatever you're passionate about. If you guys are passionate about seeing Red and Chloe have their friendship tested in a new storyline, of course, faced with the consequences of time travel from the previous film, then continue to believe it. If you believe that Victor and Nova, the two characters portrayed by Melika Burton and Freya Skye, will eventually kiss, even though it's years in the making, continue to believe it. Because I've heard and I've seen it all when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, and everybody has a believement when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, and they're trying to steer the conversation in whatever direction they prefer to steer it in. And what I'm referring to are all these videos that are uploaded about how Victor and Nova never kissed in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, or this should have happened for Red and Chloe, or that should have never happened for Red and Chloe. Everybody has an opinion, and that's what stirs up controversy online, because everybody wants you to think whatever they want you to think. But what it comes down to is how much you believe in these franchises and how passionate you are about whatever it is you're passionate about. Because that's what allows lives to exist, the best of friends to be made and to be witnessed, like Red and Chloe, or of course Mal and Evie from the original Descendants, which we will never ever forget. I think that one friendship between Mal and Evie will be one that will never ever be forgotten. And I think this friendship between Red and Chloe is one that transcends and represents everything Descendants has attempted to represent over the at least last 10 years, because I think we all fell instantly in love with Red and Chloe, with how passionate they felt about things like life, and how they just wanted to be a part of that life, and they wanted to spend it together. And I think that the more that they wanted to spend it together, the more encouraged we felt about the message of the story, how beautiful the story became, and how beautiful the story has yet to be witnessed in Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, with all the consequences of time travel being more apparent than ever before, questions that remain unanswered, like who is the villain in Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, who's going to be the main antagonist, who's going to cause all the controversy. Some people have suggested Pink being one of the consequences of time travel. That's pretty obvious. Or a new villain that could rise from out of the ashes. There is so much to talk about when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, and so many characters that have far more of an appreciation, if anything, to be looked at, like Aladdin and Jasmine, Hercules and Meg, more characters from Alice in Wonderland, more characters from Cinderella. There are so many characters that have yet to see their introduction into this franchise that I think a lot of people have tended to forget about, especially when it comes to the Alice in Wonderland franchise. Because where is the Cherokee Cat? Where is Alice herself? Like, I just saw Wicked for Good earlier this afternoon. To be honest with each and every one of you, it was a beautiful production. 5-star production, hands down. 10s across the board. However way you choose to perceive it, it was a beautiful production. It was one of Ariana Grande's finest piece of work. And I think that if we're going to talk about things like Wicked, we should talk about it with promise. I know there are a lot of people that wish Wicked for Good 3 would happen, but the thing is, Wicked for Good has seen its conclusion now, and we have to move on from that. But even though we have to move on from that, that doesn't mean that we can't keep on believing in it for the foreseeable future that something special is going to happen, because there could be a spin-off movie or anything really. I think the possibilities are really endless. And when you talk about some of the most revered musicals of all time, Descendants and Zombies are well on its way to becoming some of the most revered musicals of all time. Because I believe this story never should be over. It doesn't have to be over. And it has everything to do with how much you believe in it and how passionate you feel about characters like Red, who touch your heart. And I'm here to let you guys know that if you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies and you feel as passionate as what I do about talking about it, then there is nothing wrong with it. I've seen you guys collect your dolls. I've seen you guys collect all the Descendants and Zombies merch from the Worlds Collide Tour, Descendants and Zombies merch in general. You've hung the posters up in your room. You record videos of yourself telling everybody how you feel about Descendants and Zombies, and thousands of people do it. It's not just one person who does this. It's just, consequently enough, I've become the most popular guy on YouTube for uploading Descendants and Zombies videos, if you haven't already noticed. And it has everything to do with each and every one of you and how passionate you feel about it. Because I could be talking about a franchise that there are no fans of, that nobody's ever heard tell of to begin with. But Descendants and Zombies was something that started as a whisper that Disney put in front of us, that we fell in love with, that we accepted, and we wanted everything to do with it, seemingly in 24 hours after its premiere. The Rise of Red just last summer had over 33 million hours of watch time. That's incredible. Ever since Hocus Pocus 2 premiered, I think Descendants was the one that took over the top spot on Disney Channel after Hocus Pocus 2 premiered. And that says a lot about a musical and how revered it became. And it had everything to do with each and every one of you and how much you believed in it. How you took a franchise that nobody had ever heard tell of, that nobody ever really believed in, and you said, this is what's up, this is what's cool, this is the latest trend from Disney and Nickelodeon. And I think nothing's been able to hold a candle to it. Perhaps Wicked could hold a candle to it, I really don't know, because of the millions of people who love both Descendants and Wicked. That would be an interesting competition and an interesting conversation to have. But I really do believe that in a category of its own, Descendants and Zombies stands alone. Because I have never seen two franchises come into our lives collectively and have such a significant impact on each and every one of our lives and have made us feel the way that we have. This has been an incredible journey. because as I just mentioned, I didn't only have the honor of talking about Descendants of Zombies, I had the honor of meeting thousands of people who felt very differently about franchises. And through our journey, you guys allowed me to be able to outshine any amount of criticism that I was faced with from uploading every video that I ever uploaded, because you were incredibly supportive of every video that I uploaded from the very beginning, which I can't ever seem to say thank you enough because without you guys, I wouldn't be here tonight. That's the reality we're faced with. This YouTube channel would have never happened, and I think people would have just forgotten about me. But because of each and every one of you, I know I will go down in history for being one of the most revered names on YouTube and be somebody who will never ever be forgotten. Because to be honest with each and every one of you, I have this fear of being forgotten about. So along with being forgotten about, all I've ever wanted is for your favorite stars to be remembered for forever and always. Be remembered for their legacies and the memories that we shared in because of them together, because I think everybody has a reason for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I've just wanted to solidify each and every one of their legacies in a very unique way. And that had everything to do with uploading as many videos as I possibly could about Descendants of Zombies for the people who mattered, and that are the fans of Descendants of Zombies, who made me feel as if I was a part of something for the first time ever in my lifetime. Because to let you guys in on a little secret, as a YouTube creator, it is very challenging on times to find a niche that's going to be acceptive of how you feel about it, and to accept you as its voice. But Descendants of Zombies was the first one to ever do that for me, and allowed me to find my greater purpose in life. It may have been to become your voice of Descendants of Zombies, which I know sounds really ridiculous to a lot of people who have never watched Descendants of Zombies in their lifetime. But the reason why I dedicated the rest of my life to uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies was because you guys felt just as passionate as what I did about these franchises. So because of that, I think the best way for us to proceed this is to keep the conversations going and never ever give the critics what they want. Because I've seen Kylie Cantrall cry for far long enough now. I've seen Ruby Restrainer have her heart broken, be left broken-hearted over being turned down for roles, which I think she's more than deserving of. I think Malia Baker has seen her fair share of criticism because of her friendship with Kylie Cantrall. It has everything to do with her friendship with Kylie Cantrall. The three of them being the best of friends is something I can never seem to get enough of. And Freya Sky and Malachi Burton's friendship is just icing on the cake that I can never seem to talk about enough good things about. Because I think that as we continue to take more of a chance on these stars, it gives us a reason to believe in hope perhaps more than we ever have before. Because I see that same passion in every performance they give. I remember Malachi Burton, he wasn't very old, on a show called Villains of Valley View on Disney Channel and Disney Plus, and he was receiving great reviews on there. And then he had the opportunity to be, of course, Victor in the Zombies franchise. And I know there was a lot of doubt in everybody's mind. They didn't want to give much of a chance to Malachi. But once you got to know him, and you got to realize what he represented, you guys very quickly fell in love with him. So that doesn't give any YouTuber any right to criticize his opinion, how he feels. I think that he has a bright future in store for him, and so too does Freya Sky. If there were two people to feel more confident in than ever before carrying on the legacy and the lineage of the Zombies franchise, it would have to be Freya, and it would have to be Malachi, because these two look adorable together, and I can never seem to say enough nice things about them. And I wish more YouTubers perceived it that way, because if more YouTubers would perceive it that way, they would understand each and every one of you. And the more that I think about it, that's what it really is all about, is understanding your audience and giving them what they want. Some way or somehow, you've always got to come through with every video, and you've got to keep on giving your audience what they want. And a lot of that has to do with understanding each and every one of you. Because together we've laughed together, we've cried together, we've shared so many tears, we've shared in so many experiences and so many stories that have made us fans of Descendants of Zombies. One of the greatest honors and joys of my life came in the form of having the opportunity to read all of your comments about how you felt inspired and how you became a fan because of Descendants of Zombies. And I want you guys to know I respect you. I respect you every step of the way. I've supported your opinions and your theories that you've shared on Descendants of Zombies, the predictions you guys have made, which are really adorable and really fun to have been a part of. I know that entertainment always has everything going on, like Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie. Of course, SpongeBob SquarePants is a new movie. Of course, Ships Going Down is the slogan of it on December 19th. We've got the new Avatar movie, Fire and Ash, coming out. Wicked for Good just wrapped up production. So there's so much going on. But I think that there's never enough time to talk about Descendants of Zombies with everything happening. I think that we should give these stars more of a chance than ever before, because when you take a chance on something that you never really thought would amount to anything, I mean, look what happened. Look what happened for Descendants of Zombies. It blew up overnight. You guys took me and turned me into a celebrity overnight, because more people know who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is now than ever before, with over 85,000 channel views having been reached and realized because of each and every one of you. More people know who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is now more than ever before, and I have each and every one of you to thank because of that. Because you guys took a chance on this YouTube channel, and I was able to share my opinion with you guys on Descendants of Zombies and help you make sense of the franchises you've loved forever and always. Because I knew exactly what was going to happen over a decade ago when it came to the original premiere of Descendants on July 31st, 2015. Nobody was going to give it much of a chance. We had seen every type of musical Disney would promote over the last at least 20 years leading up to this, from High School Musical to Hocus Pocus, which I just briefly spoke on, which I was a huge fan of. And this musical came from out of nowhere, originally put together by Kenny Ortega, because he believed in things like High School Musical and Hocus Pocus so much. And this really fit perfectly with everything Kenny Ortega had been a part of over the at least last 25 years. And it became such a huge sensation. It had everything to do with how people believed in it, the characters, the music, and everything fit perfectly together. So when it came to reviewing it, whatever a critic could find to criticize about Descendants of Zombies, they did. They criticized the music. They criticized the characters for having no backstory. Believe you me, I'd seen and I'd heard it all. And all I ever wanted to do was be a part of something special. For all of my lifetime, I wanted to be a part of something special. And Descendants of Zombies allowed me to be a part of that one thing that I could be a part of for what felt like forever, and touch each and every one of your hearts with my opinions on Kylie Cantrall. Do I think Kylie Cantrall deserved to cry about how she felt about everything in her lifetime? The girl is an everyday human being who sheds tears. So because she sheds tears, I think critics realize that. And they criticized everything from the gap in her teeth to how she performed as Princess Red without even giving her much of a chance, even criticizing her relationship, which they didn't know the first thing about. I think if we back off Kylie Cantrall and we give her more of a chance in that foreseeable future, her future is going to be something to be really excited about. And you can get that from Goodie Bag, Denim, and See You Tonight. They are beautiful music videos that she is really appreciative of. She's so excited to share with each and every one of you. So because she's so excited to share in it with each and every one of you, she doesn't deserve to be criticized, because I've always believed that any form of criticism is not a nice form of criticism at all. And I think if we're going to say something about Kylie Cantrall, we should say something that gives people hope for the foreseeable future that has everything to do with Kylie Cantrall. I'm a huge fan of Kylie Cantrall. I'm also a huge fan of Ruby Rose Turner, and I was left brokenhearted last year when the announcement was made that Ruby Rose Turner was no longer going to be a part of the franchise moving forward, because I believe she had so much more of a story to be told and to be examined, and I still believe to this day that she still has such a huge story left to be told and left to be examined. I think from out of nowhere, she's just going to come from out of nowhere and give us hope for that foreseeable future that has everything to do with her. I know that people try to shed their Disney past after a while and kind of close the door, and forever and always keep that door remaining to be closed. But I think that if we take more of a chance on these stars, I mean, there's always an opportunity for new storylines to be presented, and it's all about how much you believe in these new storylines, like characters from Aladdin, Hercules, The Little Mermaid, Halloween Town, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas, which was one of my favorite Disney franchises of all time, that has never seemed to have enough done with it. Only a scattered attraction at Disney World like Halloween Town opening up once every year. So I think that there's so much left to be talked about when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, and that's why I've always believed this conversation should keep on going for the foreseeable future. And that's why I can upload so many videos about Descendants of Zombies and have no regrets, because I've always believed that as long as you continue to believe in these franchises as you have this YouTube channel, these franchises are only going to continue to thrive. And that's what I'm so honored to be a part of, is that foreseeable future. And I know next summer I can foresee a lot of people uploading videos with their thoughts and the reviews on Descendants 5 of Wonderland. If they upload one video, they're going to upload one video with nothing but criticism having been seen in it. But what's going to outshine that is how much you guys believe in it. And I have each and every one of you to thank for having made me your voice of Descendants of Zombies. I should rephrase that. For allowing me to have been your voice of Descendants of Zombies, because ever since becoming your voice of Descendants of Zombies, it's become very apparent to me, for some unknown reason by my behalf, this YouTube channel has become the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, as sure as the moon is out tonight, in the world, with over 85,000 channel views and over 3,000 subscribers plus. Thank you guys so much for ever etching us closer to that next milestone of over 3,500 subscribers. I can't even begin to put into words how appreciative I am of every moment that we created together, because we created this YouTube channel together, and that's what was so amazing and so incredible to be a part of, was watching the rapid fire ascension of how popular this YouTube channel will go on to become. And it had everything to do with how much you believed in this channel, and how much you believed in the Descendants of Zombies, and how much you believed in me, and stars like Kylie Cantrall, because you wanted to give them a chance. Stars like Freya Sky, who still have the brightest futures yet to be discussed and yet to be witnessed. As part of Zombies, as part of their musical careers, as part of their careers as actresses, which I'm just excited to be here to marvel in with each and every one of you. I have the color red, sporting it tonight out of support of Kylie Cantrall, if you haven't already noticed. And which, by the way, guys, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that, because I believe this conversation should never be over. It doesn't have to be over, because each and every one of us believe in it so much. So thank you guys so much for having watched this video. I'm going to go ahead right now and upload this video to my YouTube channel, hoping to get over a couple of hundred subscribers, a couple of hundred views. You never know how many views you're going to get with each video, but until we speak again tomorrow morning, I want you guys to keep on believing in the franchises you grew up with and grew up around, because you know your favorite characters, your favorite moments, the moments that made you fans of Descendants of Zombies, and you can share that with your best friends that made you your best friends. So that's really cool, just to be a part of something special, because that's all I've ever wanted to do. Thank you guys so much for having watched this video. We will talk again tomorrow morning as you keep Descendants of Zombies in your hearts and keep on believing it into that foreseeable future, because it's a good one, and I'm really excited to be a part of it with each and every one of you.